Hi, and welcome back to Omni Edition Garden City. I'm Dan York, and as we promised up front, John Procsh is here. He is the chairman of the Garden City Downtown Development Authority, as well as the owner of PKSA Karate here in Garden City. Welcome back to the program, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Wanted to take this opportunity really just to have a general conversation about the goings-on of the Downtown Development Authority. We try to do this every once in a while, and John being the outgoing chairperson, we wanted to have the opportunity to speak with him. First of all, let's explain that to folks, because you are kind of term limited, aren't you?
Yeah. As the bylaws state, you can only hold officer position in the DDA for so long, and as of May 1st, my term for that will be up. I'll still remain as a trustee on the board, but I just can't hold an officer position for the next 12 months.
And talking about you remaining a trustee on the board, there are 12 trustees, is that correct?
Yep, that's correct.
All right, and then how many members of the executive board that hold office?
We have 5.
Okay.
That includes the CEO, which is the mayor.
Okay. And I guess a lot of folks still aren't clear on what the DDA is and how the DDA exists and how the DDA functions.
Sure.
Obviously, the DDA, the Downtown Development Authority, has certain jurisdiction over a certain area. Right. And the boundaries of that area are approximately?
On Middle Belt, it goes from Maplewood to Bach, and then on Ford Road, it goes from Henry Ruff to Harrison.
Okay.
That's what we call the downtown. And then within that, we have the Central Business District, which is even a smaller area with confined within the Downtown Development Authority.
A core district, if you
Sure.
will.
Yep.
And people can identify that currently by the streetscape, by the ornamental street
Correct.
lights and some of the different streetscape work that is done there.
Exactly. The streetscape runs on Ford Road and then also on Middle Belt. And one of the projects actually we're looking at starting on is extending the streetscape down Ford Road, east and west a little bit farther to make our downtown a little bit more stretched out and a little bit more identifiable to residents.
And throughout the entire DDA district, at least on Ford Road, I can't speak for Middle Belt, but at least on Ford Road, there has been some work done at some point, whether it be brick pavers or new grass or different effects. I don't think that's the case on Middle Belt Road now as I'm thinking it through. And one of the ways that the DDA is able to do this, and the main way the DDA functions, is through something called TIF Funds, which are Tax Increment Financing Authority funds. Is that correct?
Correct.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. We've been doing a lot of communication and outreach to the community, the residents, and business owners to make them understand how this money works. Tax increment financing is not taxed money on top of your regular taxes, but it's a portion of the taxed money, and usually it's associated with the businesses within that district.
Right.
So, and those funds are matched through different authorities such as Wayne County, Schoolcraft College, the jail, different things like that.
So when the Tax Increment Financing Authority was established, which I believe was back in the 80s,
Correct.
Let's say that the city collected $100 from business A. So any increase in the tax revenue from business A since that time is captured by the DDA. The city still captures their $100. Correct. But now any additional, let's say now it's $170, that extra $70 goes into the DDA.
Right. Right. Yeah, you can, if residents want to get more information on that, they can go to their website, and it has an explanation and basically a printout of everything that is associated with the TIF funds, how it works, and the rules and regulations around what the money is allowed to be used for as well.
Because there are restrictions on what you can use the money for.
Exactly. One example would be the DDA was interested and wanted to help with the funding of a new fire truck for the fire department, but that wasn't one of the intended uses that we were allowed to use it for.
Right. And there's been some discussion too lately over capturing rubbish millage and that kind of stuff, and that's being worked out as we speak.
It's actually we just got it all worked out, so that's all good moving forward.
So that money goes back to the city then to help to pay those bills?
That's correct.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some of the activities that you have coming up. Right before we went on the air, you mentioned to me that you have, and we're going to be kind of all over the place with this,
Sure.
but you have movies coming up. They're going to be shown downtown this year through the DDA.
Yeah, last year we hosted a movie night for families in the district, and it was in association with our art. We've Got Art campaign with all the new art that we had put into the city. So the ending of that night was a movie, and we held it over in the Allstate parking lot. And it was a big, huge screen, outdoor movie, great night. A lot of families came out. We had popcorn, hot dogs, refreshments, things like that. So we decided to run with that this year and do it again. We're going to do it 3 times this year.
Okay, and those dates are?
We got June 8th, July 13th, and August 10th.
Okay, and those will all start around dusk.
Exactly.
Okay, and I saw that last year. That is really neat. It's really a neat sight. And if you aren't expecting it when you're driving down Ford Road, I imagine it's rather startling to see all these people laying on blankets and sitting in lawn chairs and everything, looking at the movie screen.
One of the reasons we wanted to do it again is because so many people were excited about it and they were very happy. We got great feedback from it. So we're gonna host 3 more this year and see how it goes.
Okay. Now, one of the other great events that the DDA has is the annual chili cook-off in the fall, and that's really become the biggest event that you folks host, maybe.
Yeah, I think this is probably our 3rd or 4th year, and it's grown every year. It's attracting people from other cities, and it's the competition within the chili cook-off itself is getting pretty good. Everybody's having a good time with it. It's a fun family event, and it brings everybody to the area and to the downtown.
Okay, and that'll be in October again this year.
Yes.
And that's a great turnout. And that does one of the things that the DDA is supposed to do, which is bring people in from other communities.
Sure.
Sometimes a lot of the events we have really are just for ourselves and bring people from within the community. But the Chili Cook-Off really does bring people from all over Southeast Michigan.
Yeah, we're trying to get more outside influence to come into the city. We have a pretty good, unique set of businesses in town here, and we want people to enjoy them. And the way they find out about them is coming to events, and then they can kind of walk around downtown. And when they're driving in and out of town, they can see all the great things we have here.
Sure. And one of the things I'm involved with, of course, is the Santaland Parade, and the DDA has been the title sponsor of the Santaland Parade now for over 3 years. Mm-hmm. And one of the things the DDA does, along with their financial support of the parade, is hold a major event at the end of the parade, which has also turned into a very big success.
Yeah, since the parade has switched its direction, we've used in the downtown area, the same area that we use for the farmers market, to host the Santaland. And we have Santa Claus there, we have entertainment, and the mayor gives the key to the Santa, and also the children come. There's children activities. We usually have gifts and prizes for the kids, and then they can sit and talk with Santa as well. And it's starting to grow every year. It's getting bigger and better. Yeah,
and the Santaland Parade itself has really turned into another one of those major magnet things that draws people from outside of the community.
Right. Yeah, the DDA is very glad and great to have the opportunity to help out with that and make sure that's a success every year.
Okay, we talked about the fact that there are 12 members of the Downtown Development Authority, and there are 5 members that are on that executive board. How often does the DDA meet?
We have monthly meetings once a month, and we alternate them, one in the morning and then one in the evening throughout the year. And basically what we do is, our board is comprised of business owners, property owners, and then residents at large, and basically their point of view is basically to be a spokesperson for the residents of the downtown. Those residents have to live within that DDA district.
Okay.
And then of course all the business owners, they're talking on behalf of their businesses as well as the good of the people of all the businesses around.
Right. Now the DDA currently has an interim director and a contract through McKenna and Associates, I believe. Is that correct? And has a executive assistant, which is Kim Dold, right?
Right.
Stacy Tobar is your interim director. But now Stacy technically works for McKenna, and the city contracts McKenna. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, we're in a contract with McKenna, and Stacy is their lead on the project, or on the interim directorship. She's been working with Kim and our board at the office every week, a limited number of hours right now. The board is currently finishing up interviews. We're looking for our director to be our permanent director.
Right. And this arrangement's going to be going on for about 18 months now, maybe 2 years?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Okay.
About a year and a half.
All right. Now, one of the things that's happened while Stacy was here was a renovation of the Commons.
Yes.
A very nice job to, just modify the Commons, really, and update it. the elimination of the gazebo, but in place of it, a platform, if you will. I don't know exactly what you would call that, a planter or what you would call that has been hosting a sculpture most of the time. It needs to be put back up now. But talk about that renovation and the thought process that went into that, and then also talk about the art that was brought in simultaneously that's been spread throughout the city.
Sure. What we wanted to do was take that Commons Corner and update that focal point. Residents driving through town, and then also transients coming through town, they can know this is Garden City. Has a sign right on there. It's very nicely backlit with some LED lights. It hosts one of our sculptures. We have 10 sculptures around town. We got one in front of City Hall, and then dispersed all over the downtown area, just to bring some new light, new vision to the town. As far as the Commons Corner, it was a great place to have a nice Christmas tree this past year. So that'll be happening every year, and that's why the sculpture is missing right now. Didn't really expect the weather to be so warm this early, so our timeline to get the sculpture back in was a little later.
Sure. And it's just exploded with tulips here in the last couple of weeks with the very early spring that we've had, and it really is attractive.
Yeah. The obviously we are partly responsible for all the flowers in the downtown area. Barson's Greenhouse supplies all the planters. They'll be going up on the light posts and light fixtures here pretty soon.
Okay. And you talked about the art. There are, I don't know how many, you said 10 pieces of art?
Yeah.
One of those got placed here at City Hall.
Yes.
One of those sculptures is in the Commons, and then the rest are scattered about the city. But of course, the most well-known sculpture is Willy the Pig, the red pig that sits on the southwest corner of Ford and Middle Belt. And love it or hate it, everybody sure knows it's there.
Right. Yeah, the actual name of that sculpture is called Conchin Rouge. Leave
it to us to name it Willy the Pig instead.
Right. It's a sculpture by Sophie Marie, and it's been quite an attractant to people, good, bad, or indifferent. It's brought people to our downtown. It's created a buzz and a noise for the downtown, and I think it's really actually overall been a great thing.
And it has its own Facebook page, I understand.
It does. And multiple outfits worn throughout the year.
And talking about the art, I noticed in the last couple of weeks, even less than that, but new banners have gone up in the downtown area touting this art that we have on display in the community.
The banners we got were associated with the art. The idea is called We've Got Art. And in the backdrop of the banners, you can see silhouettes of some of the art pieces from the downtown area.
And that art is being leased. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so that art at some point will either be removed or rotated.
Yeah, or if anybody's interested in purchasing any of those pieces of art, they are for sale.
So someone can buy Willy the Pig.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the streetscape, because we mentioned that more or less as a delineation of people, so people can tell where the downtown begins and the downtown ends. Some of this work was done, a lot of this work was done about 10 years ago, I believe. And there is obviously some controversy around the work that was done because of a resulting lawsuit. And after that, things kind of slowed down with the DDA. I mean, obviously, people get gun shy when that kind of stuff happens. But the DDA now is looking at, because it's time to now either upgrade that or replace some of that or start to extend that streetscape.
About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I think we had a company called Seaway come in and repaint all of the light poles, trash receptacles, and the benches in the area to upgrade those. They're starting to rust and flake, so we got those done. We're looking at, one of our goals is to look at expanding the lighting down Ford Road East and down Ford Road West to make the whole ambiance a little bit longer term when you're driving through town. Along with that, we're looking at some upgrade of some of the streetscape areas as far as the sidewalk goes. Some of the brick pavers need replaced or rehabilitated, so we're looking to do that as well.
Okay, and that really, people really probably don't remember how it looks, and I don't even know if you were here, but you go back a long time ago. I mean, if you go back too far, there were shoulders on Ford Road when I moved here, but it was really a hodgepodge and a mismatch of blacktop and broken blacktop and asphalt or grass or whatever that particular business person wanted to do. And now streetscapes have really become the norm and commonplace in most communities. And really now streetscapes are the least that people expect. That's the minimum that people expect you to do. But it really does create a uniform look, a cleaner look, and really does make it more attractive.
We're trying to have the downtown as obviously everybody has their individual businesses and individual types of business, but we want to have some continuity between our downtown so people know that they're in a downtown area.
Right.
Part of that's the streetscape. Part of that is the recommended brick colors when you're redoing a facade or a building improvement within the area.
And part of that is by having facade improvement loans is one of the ways you can encourage these businesses to stay within that template.
Yeah, we offer, the DDA currently and has been offering facade improvement loans, which basically you have a $2,000 grant that goes for architectural drawings and services, and then a $35,000 loan that is, you don't have to pay it back for the first 3 years, and then it's a very small interest rate on that to pay that back. So you can do renovations quickly and in a short amount of time, and then have that flexibility to do that. So that's one of the things DDA offers to businesses, along with parking lot improvement loans. If your parking lot's cracked up or it needs resurfaced or coated, we provide that as well.
And a lot of businesses have taken advantage of it.
Yes. Yeah. Bolin Florist has done it, Barsamian's, Dr. Heider's building, the Muscle Car Shop, to name a few, the Hairmasters. So Allstate Insurance.
Sure.
All these businesses have taken part in that over the past few years.
Right. And really, you're really trying to facilitate more of this work, get some of these parking lots rehabbed and bring more of these businesses into the fold.
Yeah, it helps get rid of the blight. It upgrades old businesses that have been around a long time, and it keeps it fresh, you know. Keeps it exciting downtown, and you know, that's what we like to have.
And obviously there's a lot of competition for people's dollars, and people have a lot of options and places they can go. Sure. So you really have to make sure you offer them something that is pleasant, at least, that makes them want to come to your community.
Exactly.
And even to keep our own residents shopping in our own community.
Right. Yeah, we want to keep everybody excited about, and we also want them to take pride in our downtown. A lot of the residents here have been lifelong residents, and you know, they like to see improvement, change, upgrades, and they have a pride for that.
Now, one of the things that the DDA does with these events that it puts on and through the design of the downtown is you're looking for input from people in the community who aren't necessarily members of the DDA or who aren't necessarily members of the executive board to be members of your promotion committee and members of your design committee. Is that right?
If anybody, any residents within the city, anywhere, they don't have to live in the downtown, have an interest in volunteering their time to be a part of the design committee, which is responsible for the final design of places such as the Commons Corner, different things like that, or the promotions committee, which handles the chili cook-off, the Santa Land Parade, all of our events we do. We're more than welcome to have them on board.
Okay. And the DDA has an office in the downtown itself, right?
That's correct. South side of Ford Road, just east of Middlebelt.
Okay. Just east of Orange Jewelers.
That's correct.
And if folks are interested in contacting the Downtown Development Authority, and obviously you have a website,
yeah,
what do they do?
They can call 734-261-2830 and talk with Kim or Stacy over there, or they can go to downtowngardencity.org and get information from there, and you know, talk with the ladies over there and get the schedule for the meetings for the design.
Right, and their email addresses are also on that website.
That's
too.
correct.
All right, John. Well, I want to thank you very much for taking time out to visit with us, and congratulations on your run as chairman.
Thank you.
And we'll look forward to those movies on June 8th, July 13th, and August 10th, coming up next to the Allstate Insurance, between the Allstate and the Moose, right there in that parking lot. And we look forward to that and the other events coming up for the DDA.
Excellent.
All right, thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have more Omni Edition Garden City right after you watch this.